Wow, you can really see my highlights today. Maybe it's because I curled my hair. But this right here, it looks very like blonde. Anyway, hi guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am showing you guys some of the books that have been on my mind recently that I would like to pick up in 2018. I am stressing the fact that this is not a 2018 TBR. It's not a TBR. It is not a TBR. I need to say that mainly for myself because I don't like TBRs anymore. They just feel so restricting and constricting and whatever. So these are two pretty large stacks of books that have been on my mind recently that I would like to pick up in 2018 eventually. There are more. In addition to these stacks, I have some books that are actually coming out in 2018 that I would like to get to, but I wanted to just show you guys these two stacks. If you watched my 2018 or 2017 goals revisiting / setting 2018 goals video that I just posted recently, you will know that I am trying my very best to read books that I already own and read 3 of them at least before I go out and buy one new book. So these are some books that I already own that I want to share with you guys that hopefully I will get to in 2018. So that was almost a 2-minute long intro of just books that I'm thinking about reading. So let's just get into them, shall we? You've probably seen some of these in a haul or two before. But this first one is My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Bachman. So I would really, really like to read more Frederick Bachman this year. I've only read A Man Called Uva, and it's one of my favorite books ever, ever, ever. So I've been told that this is the book that I should read next. I also have Britt Marie Was Here. So I want to read this one, and then Britt Marie Was Here. Just read more Frederick Bachman because I loved A Man Called Uva so very much. Next up, I would like to read some cozy mysteries. I've never read a cozy mystery before, but I came across this one in a used bookstore locally, and it just looks adorable. It's called Buried in a Book, a novel idea mystery by Lucy Arlington, and it's apparently the first book in a series that are all cozy mysteries based on books, and it just sounds absolutely perfect. I want to say that I heard about this particular one on Courtney, the Courtagonist channel. I could be wrong, but she just loves cozy mysteries so much, and she has really motivated me to actually pick up one. So when I saw this for like 50 cents or something like that, I knew I had to pick it up and give it a try. So next up, we have a handful, actually more than a handful, of fantasy books. So I would really like to focus on fantasy in 2018 as well. I'm not calling it a specific goal for myself, but it's just something that I would like to do because I found in 2017 that I put off a lot of fantasy books just because they're long and they're usually in a series. So one of the ones I would like to get to is One Dark Throne by Kendara Blake. I read the first one, 3 Dark Crowns, this year? Was it this year? I can't even remember. Maybe it was last year. But I would really like to continue on in this series as I really enjoyed the first book. So that's just one of the fantasy books I want to get to. And then next up, I have The Last Wish by Andres, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, Sapkowski, which Elliot over at Elliot Brooks, she loves the Witcher series. She loves them. She loves the books and the games. Just loves everything about it. So she's been raving about it for so long that I finally decided to pick up the first book. So this book and I think the next book are actually collections of short stories that have to do with the main character in this world. And then after the first 2, the actual novel series begins with book 3, I think. It's kind of strange to me, but I'm excited to pick this up and read about this world because Elliot just loves them so much. And she's actually doing a read-along of these books this year starting in January with The Last Wish, and she's going to be reading a book a month with a bunch of people, possibly on Goodreads. I'm not sure, but I'm excited to join in, so I figured why not pick that up. Next up, it's kind of a sci-fi and then a fantasy book. Yeah, it's definitely sci-fi. That is Nixia by Scott Rankin? Sure. Molly over at Molly Reads raved about this book earlier on this year, and she actually knows the author, Scott. So I just felt like it would be a cool thing to do to just buy his book and support him as an author because he seems pretty cool. He was actually in a couple of her videos, I think, this year. But Nixia, it's just a sci-fi young adult story. These kids are going up into space for this mission/competition, and it just seems really, really cool. So I'd like to get to that. Another fantasy series that I would like to start this year is the Temeraire series. The first one being His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. This is a mass market paperback, which of course I do not like, but hey, that's okay. It was relatively cheap, $8. So this is just the start of a fantasy series by Naomi Novik. I read Uprooted by her earlier this year and I absolutely loved it. And ever since then I wanted to pick up more of her stuff. So that's that. Next up, more fantasy. I've actually had this for a while and I wanted to pick it up for a long time. And that is book 1 in the Codex Alera series by Jim Butcher. It's called The Furies of Calderon. And it's a weird mass market paperback. Like, it's a mass market paperback, but it's floppy. It's really strange. I kind of like it, actually. This, of course, is the only other edition like this that I own. The rest of them, these books right over here, that are all books, the completed series actually, and they don't all match, so I'm hoping to fix that one day soon. Anyway, this is the first book in that series and I would like to get to that eventually. I know that Elliot Brooks has read this one as well. I think she's read it. Oh no, it wasn't this one, it was the Dresden Files that she really likes, but Reagan over at Peruse Project really likes these. Next up, not a fantasy. I would really like to read The Glass Castle this year, or next year. I don't know when this is going up. But in 2018, I would like to read The Glass Castle, mostly so I can watch the movie, but also because I've heard a lot of people say amazing things about it. Next up, this book has really been on my mind a lot recently. I can tell I'm going to pick it up very, very soon, possibly January, and that is The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. First of all, I love her name, hashtag Lord of the Rings nerd, but it just looks so wintry and kind of cozy, but I want to say there's some sort of mystery involved in this. I don't know that much about it, but I do know it is about this couple that's struggling to conceive a child, so they build this fake child out of snow. I don't know if it's like for a joke or if it's just like a sweet thing to do because they want a child so much, but then they wake up the next morning and a child has appeared in the woods and the snow child is gone. So did this child appear because of the snow child that they made? I don't know, but it sounds super, super intriguing and I absolutely love this cover. Felt like it would be a good time to read in January, even though the climate around here in Florida is not that cold in January. The next book that I would like to get to is a beautiful edition of Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and I just really want to get to this. I have yet to read anything by her, but I did watch most of her We Should All Be Feminists TED Talk, and she really captured my attention with her words. So I picked up this edition from Book Depository. I'm not sure which edition it is. I know it's a UK edition, but I've seen so many editions of this book. This one was my favorite. So I don't know that much about it other than it's 2 African young people. I want to say it's a boy and a girl, a young man, a young woman that come to America, and it's about their experience, I want to say. I could be totally wrong, but I've heard great things, so I'd like to get to that eventually. My book stack is becoming precarious over here. Next up, I would like to finally read The Martian by Andy Weir. I have yet to read this, and I also have Artemis, it's this book right here, which I've heard not so great things about, but I hear this is amazing. So I saw the movie last year, really enjoyed it. I like to get to this year, and then see how Artemis is. Next up, ooh, there's a pretty sticker on the front of it. I would love to get to The Shadow of the Wind this year as well by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I've heard so many people rave about this, and I can just tell that it's going to be a 5-star book for me. I don't know why, I just have that gut feeling. If I were to film one of those 5-star prediction videos that have been going around this year, this would definitely be on that list. And then we have Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I read Six of Crows this year. Was it this year? Oh my goodness, my years are running together now. And I liked it. It didn't blow me out of the water, but I want to say it did get 4 stars. So I wanted to continue on in this series, but I just haven't yet. So I would really like to get this out of the way for 2018. But like I said, Six of Crows didn't really blow me out of the water, so I don't have a ton of motivation to read this. But I've heard a lot of people say that it's better than Six of Crows. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's rearrange this for a sec. Okay, so next, more fantasy. I have Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. It's the first book in a series called The Great Coats, I believe. It doesn't say. But I heard about this from Sam over at Thoughts on Tomes. She has not read this yet, I don't think, but she really wanted to, and it sounded super cool. It's kind of like a Three Musketeers retelling. Thought that sounded interesting. This book has been on so many like want to read lists videos for me, it's not even funny. I want to finally get to the 5th season in 2018 if I can. Oh my goodness, I've wanted to read this for so long and I just haven't yet. But again, it's just more fantasy that I've been putting off in 2017. And again, another one, I've already read this. I want to reread The Queen of the Tearling. I've said this about 10 times. I want to reread this so I continue on with The Invasion of the Tearling and then The Fate of the Tearling and finish the trilogy in 2018 if I can. Next up, in 2018, I have yet to read any Brandon Sanderson, so I would really like to start The Final Empire, at least read one of his books just to see how I like his writing. I've heard nothing but amazing things from Kelsey over at Hardback Haven. She really loves these. Elliot Brooks loves Brandon Sanderson, and then Books with Emily Fox. Emily really likes him too. So I wanted to get to him for a long time. I also want to read more V.E. Schwab this year. I want to finish, first of all, A Conjuring of Light, and then I want to read Vicious. This is her other adult fantasy novel that's supposed to be getting a sequel in 2018, I think, maybe 2019. So I'd like to read that. Another YA fantasy that I would like to read and maybe even finish the series this year. It's The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. It just seems like a cute fantasy series, and I just saw it on sale and I've heard good things about it. So it just seemed interesting. I don't really know that much about it. I just know it's YA fantasy. And then I want to get to this kind of beat up copy of Sarah Waters' The Little Stranger. I wanted to read this for Spookathon in 2017, but I actually didn't end up participating in the Spookathon. Just some stuff kept coming up and I didn't want to be bogged down with a readathon. So I didn't get to it this year, but I'm hoping 2018 is the year for The Little Stranger. It's supposed to be like a creepy gothic thriller. So maybe I'll participate in Spookathon this year and get to it. And then the last book that I wanted to mention in this video is the beautiful Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This has got to be the most beautiful book I own. There's just something about it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's so pretty. I can't get over it. Like, it stands out on my shelf. It just speaks to me. I love the colors and just everything about it. So again, another YA fantasy book that I've heard amazing things about that I would like to get to. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to be kind of like a casual, these are books I would like to get to in 2018 without making it a TBR. So if you have read any of these and you liked them or disliked them, whichever, just feel free to let me know in the comments. And encourage me to pick up some books sooner rather than later. If you see one that you think I should definitely pick up ASAP, let me know. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.